my birthday, and I ain't gotta pick up the phone. Yeah, it's my birthday. Y'all should just leave me alone.
After drunken partying the previous evening, university student Teresa Gelbman, nicknamed Tree, wakes up on her birthday in the dorm room of her classmate Carter. She ignores a phone call from her father David and dismisses Carter while leaving his room and throws away a birthday cupcake given to her by her sorority housemate Laurie. Tree also meets with her married professor Gregory Butler, with whom she is having an affair. That night, on her way to a party, Tree is lured into a tunnel and murdered by a figure wearing a mask of the campus mascot. Tree immediately wakes up in the same way she had previously, in Carter's bed, and is unnerved to find the previous day's events repeating themselves. Baffled, she nonetheless relives the day and uses the second chance to avoid the tunnel and reach the party. However, the masked killer follows her to the party and murders her again. Tree again wakes up in Carter's bed, realizes that she is in a time loop, and barricades herself in her room to avoid death. The killer, however, is already hiding there and slays her a third time. Upon waking up, Tree tells her story to Carter. He suggests taking advantage of the loop to identify her killer. She spends the next several iterations trailing people she considers suspects and getting killed each time. After waking from a loop where she is bludgeoned, Tree faints and awakens in the campus hospital. Her body shows evidence of recovery from multiple traumatic injuries, indicating that she has retained physical damage from her previous deaths. Shortly after escaping from the hospital, Tree is pursued and killed again. Waking up in Carter's bed again, Tree convinces Carter of her predicament by demonstrating her knowledge of the day's events. Tree admits to having a tremendous case of self-loathing, particularly for pushing away her father after the death of her mother years ago. Later, Tree sees a local news report on John Toombs, a serial killer being held at the campus hospital. Concluding that Toombs is her killer, Tree rushes to the hospital to warn of his escape. Toombs breaks free and nearly kills Tree, but Carter follows and rescues her. Toombs kills Carter before chasing Tree to a nearby bell tower, where she subdues him with a crowbar. Realizing that Carter will remain dead if she ends the loop, Tree hangs herself. Believing she has solved her murder, Tree is happier and more relaxed during the next loop. Tree ends her affair with Dr. Butler. She meets her father for lunch and the two begin to reconcile. That night, she goes to the hospital, where she traps and kills Toombs. Relieved to finally be free, she celebrates her birthday in Carter's room and eats the cupcake given to her by Laurie. Tree wakes up still in the loop, confused and angered by her predicament. She returns to her room, where Laurie offers her the cupcake again. Tree realizes the previous loop was the only time she had ever eaten the cupcake and had died in her sleep. Tree realizes that Laurie is the true killer. Laurie had poisoned the cupcake, but when Tree failed to eat it, Laurie utilized her job as a nurse at the hospital to frame Toombs for Tree's murder. Tree announces she will take the cupcake to the police. Laurie then attacks Tree and admits to also having an affair with Dr. Butler, whose preference for Tree has led to Laurie's murderous plan. In the ensuing fight, Tree stuffs the poisoned cupcake in Laurie's mouth, then kicks her through a window to her death. In a restaurant, Tree and Carter muse over the day's events and he offers her his room for the night. The next day, as a result of a prank played by Carter, Tree wakes up believing she is still in the time loop, but Carter quickly reveals it is the next day at last. Tree is too relieved to be angry at him, and the two kiss.